I'm Ice Cream Gaming, and this month's cupcake is going to be my salute to Veterans Day. And I'm here with a Marine veteran, my father.
Hello.
Okay, I have a question. So, we're going to do chocolate cupcakes with caramel filling and then camo frosting. The reason for the combo is because Baskin Robbins, normally their November cup ice cream of the month is like caramel, and it's amazing. So, that was the theme. So, we're going to fill the chocolate cupcakes with caramel, and we're going to ask him some questions while we do that. So, it's going to go fast, though. Okay. So this is, go ahead.
So I've seen on food shows where they taste it before they do stuff. So I have this spoon. It's pretty good. In my experience, though, I found that sometimes a small little taste is different than a big taste. So you get to bring out the big spoon. Still good. Ready?
Yeah. Go. All right. What?
You fill it all the way to the top.
Yeah. All right. What was it like in boot camp? We'll start with boot camp.
Boot camp was an absolute thrill. You know, when you get like 5 hours of sleep a night, with 89 of your closest friends. Every once in a while, you get to stay up for an hour in the middle of the night to make sure no fire starts. And then during the day, it is so pleasant getting yelled at like all day, and even when you're doing things right, being told you're doing it wrong, and finding out that drill instructors do not know how to count. So they would give us a task, such as filling up a cupcake, and give you 10 seconds. But this is how they count. They go, "You got 10 seconds. It's 10, 9, 2, 1, you're done." And it's really about 4 seconds. I'm missing 3 because I ran out of goop. That was messy. There wasn't enough to do the last 3.
I gave you the fuller bag. I wonder where the extra caramel went.
I don't know.
Clearly. Okay. We'll be back with more questions in a minute. Alright, we are back. We have made the frosting. So we used vanilla frosting. And then for the brown, we added cocoa powder and like a little bit of brown food coloring. And then for the the black, we added chocolate cocoa powder. And then black food coloring and a little bit of red because it was kind of green. It's still kind of green, but it's fine. So I'm going to mix the rest of the colors while we ask him some more questions. So, we know most Marines drink coffee, right? Why do you drink tea?
Well, so after boot camp, we went to combat training. It's 4 weeks, and all you're learning is combat techniques. Much of those happen at night. So we got, 4.5 hours of sleep most nights. And then as soon as we get done with breakfast in the morning, they'd want to have us in a class for an hour or 2 to try to teach us stuff. And clearly it's a little bit more difficult to concentrate when you have a lack of sleep. Well, you may have heard of MREs, meals ready to eat. Along with the food, they also come with a small packet of instant coffee. So what I used to do during combat training is when we get down into the class in the morning, I would take a couple of those instant coffee packets from the day before. I would open them up, pour them in, and then take my canteen of water and then drink it down. So the initial taste of the coffee would definitely wake you up, and then finally the caffeine would kick in. We make it to the class, but I really don't like coffee anymore.
I can't imagine why. All right, and then why don't you tell the people my favorite story?
Your favorite story. So I was back at Camp Lejeune when the Arab War started, the Gulf War, back in the day. And so I was on guard duty one weekend. It was felt like a long weekend. You've got 4 hours of guard duty, and then you have 4 hours of react. So you're reacting to anything that might come up, and then you get maybe a couple hours of sleep in between there, and then you start the whole process again. So I was walking my post like I'm supposed to, and then I woke up walking in some bushes, which it was bad enough that I actually fell asleep walking. But if I had fallen asleep before that last turn to the right, I would have walked off a 30-foot cliff. So I was awake after that. Caffeine not required.
Any more colorful stories you'd like to tell?
That I'm allowed to tell now. No, just kidding. There really aren't too many good stories. I think it's time to ice.
We needed this one. I don't know what color I'm going to do. I forgot.
We can just hold off to the side in case we need it later.
What? Oh, tan. That's a good thing.
Oh, let's do tan.
Alexa, how do you make tan with food coloring?
Sorry, I don't have a recipe for that.
Okay, well, we're gonna do some movie. Oh, I have
got it.
brown.
I got it. Oh, yeah, brown?
Yeah, I got brown. I'm gonna need purple. Don't have too much is strong. I also have white and dark blue. Alexa, what's purple's complementary color?
Purple's complementary color is yellow.
I think it's gonna be the wrong shade. That should be that. It's so oh, he's doing that. What was your job in the Marine Corps?
I was a diesel mechanic, which was interesting because prior to the Marine Corps, I had no idea how to even change the oil in a vehicle.
That's shocking.
And now I can do oil, brakes, shocks, batteries, lots of stuff. I even sometimes do stuff that I don't know how to do. Just don't tell my wife that. She gets a little panicky.
For those who don't know, his wife is camera lady.
She just waved, by the way, behind the camera. So I'm gonna go wave to her. Everybody see that? Good.
Okay, so now we're gonna do this trick that I learned on Pinterest. And we're gonna so you take to make like a marble or kind of blotchy color. You could struggle with your piping bag, or you can use plastic wrap, which I will be using because I ain't dealing with that. I don't need that negativity in my life, man. Alright, so you need a fairly long piece. Can you help me break it? Easy! So then you just kind of like glob colors. So, would you like to help glob colors? Don't put the tan next to the...
I'll do the green since we were called green amphibious monsters of the sea.
What?
That's what we call ourselves.
I thought y'all were jarheads.
Jarheads, too, devil dogs. Where am I globbing?
Just glob it anywhere. Anywhere within like that perimeter. Then don't do all of it at once because you're going to do layers. start. Just don't put a color on top of the same color. That made no sense, I know. You're welcome. How did you get the name Devil Dog?
Devil Dog comes from World War I, the Battle of Belleau Woods in France, when the Germans were inside of Belleau Woods, so basically a forest. They had wonderful a wonderful position that what basically the army was unable to defeat them in. So of course they brought in the Marines because we want things done right.
Yeah, you need the Marines.
Marine Corps. The Army, don't get me wrong, the Army, they are fantastic at holding ground that the Marines have already taken. Navy, best taxi service in the world. Anyway, so the tenacity that the Marines fought with, the Germans actually nicknamed them Teufelhunden, which would be devil dogs in English. So that's how we get that nickname.
Is all the frosting in them?
No one just doesn't want to stand
It's
up.
the problem, child. We have all the frosting, yeah. So and then you kind of like take it and you make a frosting burrito, and the saran wraps the tortilla. Sounds amazing, I know. And then you kind of go like that. And boom, you put one side like that, and then you take your. Actually, okay. First, we gotta do this. You gotta, you have to have a hole big enough to where your tip, the like bottom part of your icing tip can come out, but at the same time you don't want it to just go flying all over the place. Then you cut one end of the saran wrap and you slide it in. You gotta put it on like that kind of. We don't want it to all just go oozing out. Okay, and then you go shimmy, 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 shimmy. Keep the top twisted, that's important. I said keep the top twisted, that's important. We're going to bring in the cupcakes.
Okay, sister.
Okay.
Twisted sister. Mommy understands.
Okay, you can start frosting.
Still tastes good. That was a little.
It's fine. We're just.
I need room.
Did you learn this on Pinterest?
No, I'm just creative.
You're doing a lot of.
As well as being. What am I?
Stop. Oh, whimsical.
Whimsical.
Tell that story. I know that's not related, but it's funny.
I like that one.
That one's cool, Daddy. That's actually a technique. I don't know
like,
what it's called.
more like digital camouflage.
I don't.
That one's ugly.
That one's cool. Rank your children. The children have been ranked. Tell that story. That one's funny.
So anyone who knows me would not describe me as being whimsical. I am, whatever the correct word for the opposite of whimsical, aside from just being a whimsical, that's me. So we went to Cracker Barrel 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Almost 4 years ago, and they did during Christmas. They did a little questionnaire on their website.
Kind of like a BuzzFeed quiz.
It was I was trying to figure out what kind of personality you had. So I went ahead and took it, and you answer all the questions. One of the questions, though, they asked you about food, they asked you about different things, but then one of the questions they showed 4 different women's outfits. And it says, which one would you wear? So clearly the answer is none. But then at the end of the survey, it would tell you what your personality was. And it came out as whimsical. So that's been the running joke now for, well, over 3 years, that I'm whimsical.
Pretty much.
So my turn again.
Yeah, that is this one. There you go. Fuck, I should tell. I'm testing. I don't know what to start to tell. Those are cool though. Remember when we went to that, like, we was in California, remember we went to that store and they had, like, MREs and a bunch of, like, military thingies, and they had, like, the camo, but it was, like, pixelated, and I thought, what was the point of pixelated camo?
But the pixelated camo, so that'd be the digital, that stuff is really good at any distance in the field. It actually does work better.
Like a flussel video. Do I know what kind that's called?
Flower, rose.
Yeah, close. It's a rosette.
I'm smart
That's not
for being as whimsical as I am.
so whimsical.
Ooh.
What are things that you liked and disliked about the Marine Corps?
Overall, it's fantastic.
Okay.
You learn a lot. You get to do a lot. Probably the downfall is that I never got to leave the country. My timing was certainly off, so I did not make it over to the Gulf during the Gulf War.
I'm okay with that.
And I definitely learned a lot about vehicles and stuff like that, so I could make more money when I was in school than if I was just. Oh, we have more. We're not gonna have enough icing.
That's fine. We can make more off camera. We have some without caramel for my brother. I see he's so melted. The camera looks good. Good.
Says what for me?
We're gonna do that outro second. We'll be back for that. We gotta arrange them. Okay, so we're here to cut the cupcake. And show them your friend.
So we're gonna use, an actual K-bar. So a marine K-bar, so we can actually cut it correctly. Nice leather handle, like it's supposed to be.
I'm gonna pet it. That caramel is good. Okay. Hello. So thank you for watching. We will give you a close-up of the cupcakes in a second. I want to say thank you for watching, and
Thank you.
bye.
Semper Fi.
Yeah. Thank you, shut up.